Blessed is the spot, in the house, in the place, in the city, in the heart, in the mountain, in the refuge, in the cave, in the valley, in the land, in the sea, in the island, in the middle. But mention of God has been made, and his praise glorified.
And greetings, grand evening. That was some beautiful scenery from the Baha'i Institute at the Louis G. Gregory Baha'i Institute in Arizona. So welcome everybody to Viada's Tiny House Village. We got a lot to talk about the Tiny House Village because we're being threatened and at war. And we're coming up with solutions tonight. We're going to share the problem with you, but as always, we got solutions. We have to have solutions these days because if we don't have solutions, guess what? The government's going to have solutions for us. So let's welcome our tiny house village, which is going to be named our tribe soon. Let's welcome the tiny house tribe. So, welcome. We are talking tonight about the war against tiny houses and affordable housing. I was sent a video from a gentleman, an elderly gentleman who's living in a trailer on a large piece of land because that's the only option he's had that was peaceful and giving him affordability. And what I learned in this video was mind-blowing and enlightening and so many other things. So I've invited my friend L.A. Davis tonight, and I've invited many members of the tribe to come in and let's talk about this problem, this war, this battle that has developed. And this has been going on for a while because guess what? They're trying to reduce the population. If you were around in 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, we learned a lot about COVID and the lies that were told and what this is really all about. It's all about a population reduction. Yeah, I said it. So this video you're about to watch, just keep that in mind that senior citizens are almost useless eaters to some people. We don't have any value. But this gentleman points out why we're having this challenge right now. And what we're going to do about it is what we're going to talk about tonight. So this is called Why Tiny Homes Are Being Banned, the Hidden War on Affordable Housing. And this guy is called Offended Outcast. He has some great videos on tiny houses, land, everything you could imagine related to affordable housing. He has great informative videos. But just let's listen to him for a few minutes about why tiny homes are being banned, the hidden war on affordable living. it's an eye opener for sure.
Welcome back to Offended Outcast. Let me start today with the truth nobody in government, no developer, and no banking executive wants to hear out loud. Affordable living has become illegal in America. Not by accident, not because tiny homes are unsafe, not because they don't fit the character of the neighborhood either. No, affordable living is illegal because it threatens the revenue system that cities, counties, and corporations now depend on. And nothing exposes that truth faster than a tiny home. Because the moment a working class person, a senior citizen, a single mom, or a disabled American can plan a small, safe, simple home on a piece of land and live without a 30-year mortgage, the entire system loses control. Today, we're going to talk about why tiny homes are being banned, why zoning laws don't protect you, they protect profit, and why thousands of Americans are being denied the right to simply exist on their own land. So let's dig in. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, take a moment and do so. It'd really help out. Let's be clear. If tiny homes were causing fires, collapsing under snow loads, or poisoning the groundwater, we'd have national headlines every week. But we don't. The problem isn't that tiny homes are dangerous. The problem is that tiny homes are dangerous to the business model. A tiny home means no $400,000 mortgage, no massive property tax bill, no endless utility hookups, no developer fees, and no state permits generating thousands of dollars. No HOA structure extracting monthly cash. No 30 years of interest payments feeding the banks either. You see the theme here? It's all about money. It always is. A tiny home gives people independence, and the system doesn't know how to profit from independent people. So they ban them quietly, strategically, and systematically. Zoning used to be about public health and safety. Now it's a Trojan horse. Cities realized something years ago. If they set a minimum square footage for homes, usually 800 feet, 1,000, or even 2,000 square feet, tiny homes disappear overnight. Then they added mandatory foundation requirements, prohibitions on living in RVs, bans on compost toilets, electrical hookup mandates, restrictions on rainwater collection, minimum lot sizes you can't afford. None of these exist to keep you safe. They exist to keep you paying. Because if you're forced into a large, expensive home, you're forced into higher taxes, utilities, insurance, mortgage, higher maintenance, fees, and you're basically locked in. That's what zoning is designed to do today. Zoning is no longer about planning communities, it's about maintaining revenue. Here's something that they don't really tell you. And banks don't like tiny homes because they can't securitize the debt. A bank can take a $400,000 mortgage, slice it into financial instruments, and sell it off to investors. That's profit, that's Wall Street, and that's the game. We all know it. But you take a $40,000 home, a $50,000 build on private land, it's not worth securitizing. It's not worth the paperwork. So banks lobby hard for minimum home sizes and code requirements that make tiny homes impossible. Not everywhere, mind you, but it's the growing trend that we're seeing today. Now, this isn't conspiracy, mind you. This is public record. This is lobbying at the local and state level. You wonder why every single affordable housing committee never talks about tiny homes? Because they're funded by the same people who profit from keeping homes expensive in the first place. When you build a tiny home, you might choose solar, composting toilet, rainwater storage, propane heating, or a wood stove like I do. You know what that means? The utility monopolies make $0 from you. The electric company doesn't get your monthly tribute. The water company doesn't get your hookup fee. The sewer company doesn't get your per gallon bill, and the trash company doesn't get your service charge. So counties quietly pass laws that require mandatory sewer connections, grid connections, water hookups, and they're banning on full-time off-grid living. Again, it's not for safety, it's for revenue. If you think cities want a population of financially self-sufficient people generating no monthly utility income, I've got bad news for you. One of the biggest tricks they use is requiring a permanent foundation. They claim it's about safety. Oh, it's about taxes. A home on wheels is often taxed as personal property. A home on a foundation becomes real estate. And real estate means ongoing taxable income for the county. Foundations also raise property value, taxable value. They prevent mobility, tie you permanently into the jurisdiction. Again, it's not about safety. It's about making sure you never leave and never stop paying. Let's talk about seniors because nobody else will. Tiny homes are one of the last few remaining lifelines for older Americans who can't afford rent or can't make their Social Security stretch far enough. And they're being priced out of mobile home parks, as we've discussed before, or are one medical bill away from homelessness themselves. A tiny home means freedom. It means aging with dignity. It means not being forced into a dangerous rental market. But to counties, it means a senior who won't be paying $1,200 a month in rent, $300 a month in utilities, $2,000 a year in taxes, $200 in garbage fees. You see the pattern here. So they ban the lifeline. They regulate the escape hatch. They destroy the only affordable housing option left for millions of Americans because it doesn't profit them. One of the biggest lies they tell us is that tiny homes lower neighborhood standards. Really? Have they looked at the crumbling 80-year-old houses in half of America's cities? Have they inspected the rotting rentals charging $1,500 a month? Have they evaluated the mold-filled apartments owned by corporate landlords? Hell no. Tiny homes, when built properly, are much more efficient, they're structurally sound, and they're environmentally responsible. And they're affordable. But none of that matters when the real agenda is financial here. They say tiny homes lower property values. Well, I guess that means tiny homes lower tax revenue. Well, of course it does. They say tiny homes don't fit the character of the neighborhood. Well, that's because they don't want poor people to survive, and we can't have that. So, this is happening everywhere, guys. Counties are bulldozing tiny homes because they weren't on foundations. Not everywhere, mind you, but in some areas, yes. Seniors are being evicted from RVs on their own property. Veterans are forced out of their cabins for noncompliance. Disabled people told their housing wasn't up to code. And the pattern goes on and on. Landowners are being told they can't live on the land they paid off. So, I mean, in my opinion, this goes against our Constitution. And I think, and if you believe that, drop a line in the comments below. I'd like to hear.
Now, when you hear that, it can either make you really angry or it can make you just rev up and fire up to do something about it. And that's why we're here tonight. Because my story, let me tell you a little bit of my story. After my divorce, I found I was on my own after almost 40 years of being with a husband who I definitely depended on to pay the mortgage and the houses, to fix cars and all that. I found myself on my own. So I rented a condo for way too much money for a year. And I thought, I can't afford this because we sold our house. I got money from the sale of the house. So I had a little bit of money to spend on housing and a car. And after a year in a condo it was almost $1,000. Got to find something else to live in. I found a tiny house on wheels, 160 square feet. And I fell in love with it right away when I saw it. Only problem was I couldn't park it near my family in Orlando City. No way. I had to go an hour outside Orlando to find a place to park my tiny house, 160 square feet on wheels. I loved it. It was 5 years in an environment with horses on one side, cows on the other, dirt road. I loved it, loved it, loved it for 5 years. I had to travel a little ways to clean my client's house, but that's okay. Long story short, I ended up in this location by the grace of the Most High. I was able to renovate the shed. That was already here basically, and now I am blessed to be able to share with you how to do that, how to renovate a shed, how to live tiny, how to budget. Listen, I'm budgeting so well here that I realized I ran out of dish detergent, and I'm like, I don't need dish detergent. I boil some water, put some vinegar in it, and that's how I wash my dishes now. It's just me. So anyway, we're here to bring up the solutions. And we played in the beginning of the show, if you missed it, a video of Louis B. Gregory's Baha'i Institute in Arizona. And we have a comment here I want to share from Indy B Sings. She said, long after the six grandfathers, and she referring to grandfathers as the stones or the rocks that were reshaped into Mount Rushmore, she answered a different call to listen to the land and honor erased ancestors. Over decades, she gathered thousands of stones, each one felt not taken, recognized as ancestral memory. Today, many rest at the Louis G. Gregory Institute in South Carolina. Sorry, that was South Carolina. Not as artifacts, but as honored beings. So that video tells a story. Maybe we play it at the end as well. So in case you missed it, tells a very important story, as NDB points out, of the history of our ancestors' work that they did, which included building their own houses. So we have got to start building a tribe, building a community, and offsetting the evil and the shenanigans of our government and cities and counties that are trying to get rid of seniors and anyone else who is not meeting their standards of high income and all that. So before I bring on Mama AZ, I want to ask Vauban Shortsroad, also known as LA, who is my podcast brother, what he thinks about that video that just played and what are the solutions that he's working on as someone who has experience in building houses and so forth. So welcome, LA.
Well, he was very accurate, but let's look at sort of like a chess game. Let's look at the landscape. 90, let's see, no, 75% to 80% of Americans are living in houses that they really can't afford to live in.
True.
All right, that's a very high number. But looking at the landscape, you have at least about 109,000 towns in the United States. Now, these are towns that rank anywhere from having a population of one person all the way up to Los Angeles County, which is the most populous county in the United States with over 9 million people. And there are about 10 or 11 cities in the United States that have a population of a million more people, but there's 109,000 towns. So and 86% of the population occupies only 3% of the landmass. That's where the problem is. So 97% of the 97% of the landmass of the United States is rural. And that's the way you basically will have to go to be rural and then live as close as possible to the founders of the Declaration, who signed the Declaration of Independence. And here's what I mean by that. When they signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, there was no such thing as the DMV. Most of the agencies that you know about today, government agencies, did not exist. So zoning departments, planning departments, none of those existed when they gave birth to what we know now as the United States of America. So the best place to find those are in towns that have probably a population of 2,500 people less. But if you can find a place that's got under 400 people or less, that's where you can probably find your freedom today in the United States, where you can buy land by the acre, relatively inexpensive, and grow your food. Like, for instance, in some cities in the United States, it is illegal to grow food in your front yard. You can get
Okay.
arrested for that.
Okay, so what he pointed out, though, even if you do find land outside the city, we're looking at all these zoning Trojan horse type thing, as he said. So how do we get around rainwater is illegal? The problem if you don't have a permanent foundation, we found that out here, even here in Orlando. The person who bought my tiny house moved way outside of Orlando and put it on her land that she just bought. And then they tell, well, you can't put that tiny house here because you don't have a permanent foundation. So how do you get around these zoning problems? What do you think is the next step for
Well,
us?
not all, because you've got over 3,000 counties in the United States. So you've got to go to a county in the United States. Once again, it needs to be a small county. Okay. A county that's probably got probably under 35,000 people for the whole county. Find a small county, and then within that small county, find you a small or tiny town. Once again, the sweet spot for me is like 100 people or less, and there are plenty of them all around the United States.
Okay.
And then, of course, before you buy anything, ask zoning, what can you do, what cannot do.
Okay, so that is the key right there. Thank you, LA. First of all, your chances of being restricted on how you can build, what you can build, what you can put on are limited if you're outside, way outside of a city and in a rural area. You're likely, chances are low that you're going to have a problem with your affordable housing. However, we are looking at maybe having a tribe form that can change some of these ridiculous laws. So I have on the line Mama AZ, who is celebrating her father's Earth Day revolution around the sun, and she is dealing with trying to find a home in Arizona because she's in temporary residence right now. And she and I and any of our tribe members who want to join us are looking to buy some land and find areas where you can plant a tent or RV or a tiny house or whatever the hell you want to plant on that land. So that's our charge tonight for everyone here listening, or for those of you who are in Arizona. Where do we buy land, and how do we get around some of these zoning regulations so that Mama AZ, for one, can have a place to be comfortable and in peace? So Mama AZ, are you there?
Wow. Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Brother LA, are you still there?
Yes, he's here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my God. You cannot make this up. Even though we were supposed to, we agreed Friday to talk about the journey of the sacred stones. However, because of you listening, Brother LA, and you, Dr. V, and my dad has been communicating with the both of you, it seems like. And I highly commend you, Dr. V, for putting that arrangement like you did. And my dad, that's my dad and my cousin and my brother, and the baby is his son, my cousin brother's son. My dad adopted my cousin. He became our brother from the reservation in Oklahoma to keep him out of trouble. That's the story I heard. But getting back to my dad communicating with the both of you, and I'm saying this, every picture that you had around there took me back to my dad. My dad and my mother built houses from the ground up. My mother could roof. Her Earth Day was Friday, and she would drink all the time. But my mother was a little old short woman, and she could roof any roof. Run rings around a man roofing and driving ammunition trucks for the army. That was my mother. Friday, and then her and my dad decided to hook up. He's from the reservation in Oklahoma. She's in Texas. My dad and my mother built a community, and it gives me chill bumps to think that you picked up on this issue of elders being thrown out. I'm not, after having time to think about it in my life, I came to the planet to agree to this, while all these other juju heads who look like you and I call me crazy schizophrenic for pitching a tent or digging holes, earthing, and this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. What you're doing for me, Dr. V, having information put out about tiny houses and building, this is what my people did. I mean, from scratch, straw bale houses and everything. We have not been able to come together and help each other. I have a daughter in Georgia. I have no idea what her home looks like. I've never been invited, but that's beside the point. I said that to say this. Families, we are going to have to forget about our children who don't give a darn about us, and you did the best that you could with the information that you had. I came from parents of alcoholics. That's why I have my issues, alcohol fetal syndrome. But you know what? I give thanks for my mama came here Friday on 12/12, and my daddy came here today, which adds up, I think, to a 7. The day I'm a 7. And no matter what our parents do or did or didn't do, we have to jump over that. And if your children don't give a shit about you, just like Napoleon Davis, he built this out of dimension, out of world castle, teepee museum in Muskogee, Oklahoma. His children didn't care about that. I learned from all of the history that we've created, and our children have been fed poisons, air, water, everything. You cannot waste energy blaming anybody. If they don't get it, fine.
Well, Mama AZ, let me just say this. Our children have a different assignment. Let's just we don't have to say they don't. It's not that they don't care about us, they don't love us.
You're
They
right.
have
I agree.
I've come to accept that about my 2 adult sons who don't think like me, don't have my beliefs, they don't act like me, none of that. But they respect me. I have to give them that. They don't curse me, and my son has let me renovate this place on his spot. They have a different assignment. One of the assignments, Mama AZ, is to test us. If we're going to stay in our lane and mind our own business once they become adults. When our children become adults, this is hard for parents to take. We are not going to influence them like we did when they were 12 and 13 and 14 and all that. So we bless their assignment, whatever that is. Do it good, have joy. But if we don't have to we're not complaining at all. I know you're not, but it's their assignment, and we have a different assignment. And one of our assignments is to find a new tribe, a new family, a new community.
Now, this is what I'm saying, Dr. V. My dad was about that, and the nth degree, and teaching ones how to build, how to landscape, how to do those things. And I still have that in me, even in the wheelchair. I'm learning how to run a weed eater, in a doggone wheelchair. And so, and I can still kind of hit a hammer, hit a nail every now and again to teach others, because if we don't do something, especially for the elders, hey, That's it. And the knowledge is going to be gone. I know people don't really look at it, but that was what my dad on that picture was about. That's what Bob Paris was about. And Dad, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, sir. All the times we had that wasn't positive. I see what you mean now, Dad. I see, I understand, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful to you that you allowed me to be a part of your bloodline on whatever level. Dad, Bob Paris, I love you. And I love my mother, Mattie Paris. I love you. And I'm grateful no matter what we choose our parents. And Dr. V, I urge you and Brother L.A. to every day, if you could have a little clip about how we're going to get around these laws, because I don't know where I'm going next month. Only the Creator knows. I don't know.
Well,
And I don't know.
we have to just listen. We're here tonight. This is no accident. We're here tonight to put it in the universe that we need some assistance. Not just AI, but creative intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a partner for us. We can partner with AI and get some answers, but we are the creators here. We are the gods and goddesses. We have the solution. Our ancestors are ready to help us. Angels are ready to help us. We know in our heart, mind, soul that this is evil practices by the zoning laws and all of this interference with just having people live in peace and comfort. As the brother said at the beginning, this is all planned so they can get rid of the elders, and there's a hidden war going on. This is not even hidden anymore. It's out in the open that they're trying to make it very difficult for people to live in affordable housing without all these damn regulations, zoning, taxes, more fees, more taxes, more fees. We're going to work on that with the help of the universe. The universe has got our back. Our angels got our back. I believe that strongly, that we got to take action. So this is a call to action, everybody, to do whatever you can in your area, in your community, to stop the laws, to change the laws, to be in favor of people who are trying to get affordable housing. We have to change the laws. I don't know who voted these people in, but I have a feeling I know. Because as he said, the banks, listen, he said in that video, the banks lobby hard to prevent the establishment of affordable housing because they're going to lose money. Now, who owns the banks? We all know. Do anybody have any questions about who owns these banks? Chase, Bank of America, Zionists own these banks. That's who runs it. So we know who's behind all this, but we have a greater power behind us. And if we just take the action and come together, unity is the key. Unity is the key. We can be successful and even turning some of these laws around in areas that have lost their mind, or just creating new spaces for us to get land, build communities, and come together to establish affordable housing for everyone who wants it. Okay?
Dr. V?
Yes.
I am so proud of this show. I don't know what to do. Let's see if you and Brother L.A. and we can pass some laws, and especially here in Arizona. I see some things that are really coming down the pipeline, and I know there are not a lot of people, especially people of color, who like the woods, who like to be outdoors when it's not cold. Me, I can't stand cold anymore, but I like 116 degree heat, and that I can hang. But I can still teach. I still have a few skills of camping. My dad started teaching me at 5 years old, and my mom, and it's still here. I have things that would just love to share about living on off grid. I would love it. So thank you
so
for
that
having this show.
thank us. We
Thank
are
us.
united spirits, united souls on a mission to undo the evil that has been done over the past 10, 20 years that has made it difficult for people to just live in affordable housing. And as the rents go up, and up, and people have fewer choices, then we have to be ready. We can be ready. We should be ready to offer them options that will reduce the stress, because guess what? The more people who are stressed in this country, the more it's going to affect each and every one of us. Right now, they already got the next pandemic rolling with the flu. They got the fear mongering going everywhere in the media that the flu is a big flu, is people being hospitalized, and they're trying to scare us again. And I don't know what jabs they're planning on, but just beware. That means you got to take better care of yourself. You're not going to get any flu if you're not stressed. But people who are stressed and in fear about the pandemic flu that they're planning for us, you're going to be the ones in the hospital. So let's just we're going to do a meditation at the end here. No fear. We cannot have fear. And when these people, when these elites and crazy psychopaths show you their plan, that's when you show them your divine plan and who you are. We are goddesses and gods. If that's what you want to roll with, that's who you are. Don't let anybody put fear in us about some damn virus again. That's not happening. That means you got to take better care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're going to be subject to the fear and all the stresses of people around you who might be, oh my gosh, there's another virus coming, there's a flu, oh my gosh. No, we're not playing that game anymore. Let's just stop right here. Think about it. When the news starts coming in, there's a pandemic, that's what it is, and just prepare yourself and stay home and drink some herbal tea, meditate, breathe, and strengthen your body and fly. First, love yourself. And we got NDB song, a saying says, the leaders of the Baha'i faith counseled us to move outside the city limits. Absolutely. We've been getting that counsel and that recommendation for a while now, but people, as LA pointed out, people are addicted to city life. There's land everywhere. There's more people crowded in urban areas, and if stuff hits the fan and you stay in the urban area, then you got to deal with that. That's your problem. So go ahead.
Andy B, thank us for you saying that, because I just heard that earlier about the LGI and what those stones, what the LGI represents. Before I even knew about a Baha'i, I was told certain things, and I had no idea that it was within the Baha'i faith. But when I had the opportunity to visit the LGI, meaning the Louis G. Gregory Institute in Hemingway, South Carolina, I sit out there on that porch in my rocker chair, and I heard that this is the octopus's head. The octopus has 8 appendages. I'm not going to get into all of this, but I also heard that there should be tiny houses in a circle around the LGI. I saw this in the early 80s, or whenever I went to the Louis G. Gregory Institute for the first time. I saw this. And now with NDB interjecting that it's in the letter that we should move out, it makes sense what I was seeing and what I was hearing. So thank us. We'll do another thing about the importance of the journey of the godfathers, the mineral people, the sitting people. It was time, and you did just what you were told to, or asked to do, Dr. V and Brother LA. Thank us. I'm grateful.
And
Gratitude.
let me, my sister from another mother in Chicago, Higher Learning TV show, says fear is the thread that binds those who don't trust their instincts, that leads to not the best decisions. Thank you. FEAR, false evidence appearing real. We want to be ready for it because it's coming. The media is gonna be bombarded. They've already started. Flu, flu, flu. Every time you hear the word flu, they expect you to panic and go get a shot or something like that. But I'm telling you, we don't want to repeat the same mistakes that we did in 2020 and beyond. And Brother Kwame says we need Oasis, the overground railroad. So that's what Brother Kwame and I were talking about earlier. About he has always been talking about the overground railroad, and it needs to be pushed up, fire under the underground railroad, overground railroad for all of us who are in the same tribe. We are not going to look at the color of people's skin on this overground railroad. We have to look at character, consciousness, integrity, and those who are willing and ready and strong. We need some strong individuals to build this or to work this overground railroad. So thank you, Kwame, for the reminder, so that throughout the country, if we have these oases, then we can send these seniors to the oasis. For instance, I believe Kwame is on some land in Georgia, and where there might be room for people to pitch a tent. So if somebody's in Georgia, and for instance, and they need a place to lay their head or just to be in peace, comfort, and they don't have a place to rent, maybe Kwame can refer them to a place in his area where they can pitch a tent, at least temporarily. Sometimes that's all people need, is a temporary covering or residence till they get their feet on the ground. But they're trying to eliminate even those opportunities. So guess what? It's up to us. It's up to us, the conscious ones, the queens and kings, the leaders who are number one in their own mind. Yeah, you got to be number one, and you're not second, not third, but number one, which means you're going to take better care of yourself, and you're going to be ready at any moment to be the oasis on this overground railroad that we are pumping up and promoting. So thank you, Brother Kwame. So Brother LA, do you have any final words for us?
Well, it's time to build social capital. If you want to get rid of a 30-year mortgage, get yourself 30 friends and start doing like Mama AZ's parents did. Build a house. If you build a house a week, a tiny one, build it and sell it, you'll be all right. But you got to build up that social capital. So if you want to get rid of a 30-year mortgage, get yourself 30 friends.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what NDB says. Yes, yes, yes. So that's what, starting today, we're going into 2026, which is going to be another roller coaster ride, I'm sure, because this government ain't playing, and the elite's not playing, and we got to get busy building our railroad. That's all I say. Stay in your lane and mind your own business, which is to build the overground railroad and create oasis throughout the country for our senior citizens, number one, who are really struggling and having a hard time. And then for anyone else the strong young men and women who can help us build these houses. That's what we need. So starting this day, let us be just more mindful of what our mission is. Our mission is to build and unify. So I'm going to pull up a meditation for us to just leave out on, because it is just becoming so important to spend time in stillness. Don't worry about being out there with other people and partying and being entertained. See, the people in my life are mostly about being entertained. and they're mostly about eating. And I am not. I'm on a I want to say this. I'm on a Ramadan like fast because Dr. Pooch, my guest on Friday, mentioned that it was actually Ramadan time now instead of whenever they decide to celebrate it. And I had already been fasting during the day and then eating at sunset. So I have just continued this fast during the day and then eating at sunset. And that is our mission: more fasting, less eating. That's what's going to get us through this, because the fasting is what is going to heal the body and help us build and unify and even be ready whenever S hits the fan. We're going to be ready if we're preparing now to fast and pray and meditate. Spend more time alone so you can hear guidance from the Creator Most High. NDB says very interesting, highly informative. And Kwame says wagons is how they settled the West. Yes, wagons. That to me, Kwame, speaks of simplification. All these McMansions that have been built where people get gentrified because they can't take care of them. And then they want to buy more mansions that they can't take care of. Maintenance, they can't maintain them. And Higher Learning says seniors, veterans, and unhoused are catching hell in this matrix. We must pray for us all. Absolutely. So let us just do that for a minute. As I pray this, earth my body, water my blood, just let's maybe go into stillness, quiet, and think about how you can help your fellow seniors, veterans, unhoused in this matrix and they're because they're the ones who are really suffering. And we are indeed finding a way to help them. And the overground railroad, that's what we got to do. So let us take a minute and listen to this beautiful sounds. Earth my body, water my blood. And this is where we are in our meditation.
Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. I like to sing to the earth, I like to hold her. She likes to sing to me, she likes to hold me. I like to sing to the earth, I like to hold her. She likes to sing to me, she likes to hold me. I carry fistfuls of leaves. I make love to the breeze. I carry fistfuls of bones. I trust they will lead me home. I carry grief on my wings. I know why caged birds sing. Through many turns of this moon, my women have suffered wounds. But my grandmother's with me. Close your eyes, can't you see? And my grandchildren are here. The rose, the crow, and the deer. I am surrounded by light, the light of stories. I need to quiet my mind, I need to listen. We are surrounded by light, the light of stories. We need to quiet our minds, We need to listen.
So, and please let that be part of your meditation, finding the music that inspires you, that heals you, 432 hertz, for instance, and that brings you to the level of action. Take action, take action. We can no longer sit back and watch the show. Although I do enjoy the entertainment going on YouTube right now. I just get so much laughter. At the end of the day, if you've been stressed and worried or just doing busy, stop for a moment and find some good comedy on YouTube. And the politics right now is the best comedy to me on the planet. It's like crazy comedy. So we got a few more comments here. Let's see. Kwame says Social Security giving increased support for rent increases. You know, there's so many things that go up that are causing us to prioritize what we really need. That my life is all about, what do I really need? Because every time something goes up that I used to buy regularly, it's like, do I really need that? Nah, I really don't need that. So just move on. So I don't stress about price increases at all because I can live on one meal a day now. I'm at that point. All I need is some water, some juice maybe during the day, and tea. And then at night at 5, when the sun goes down, I'd have one meal. I'm good for the rest of the day. And my life is like that now. One meal a day, fasting all day, and nourishment by the trees, from the trees, the birds, the sun, the clouds, the moon, everything around me is my nourishment now. So that I'm thriving on nature now. I eat a meal every day with the sun, the moon, the star, all of that. So that's where we are with all the price increases. It just makes you get closer and closer to nature. How about that? So thank you, Indy B, Kwame, Zelda, and all of you listening out there. Thank you for joining us, and let's take action, folks. Let's take action. And brother Valbon Schwartzwald, thank you, aka LA. Thank you, and Mama Az. We're gonna sign out. Did you have any final words, Mama Az?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Dr. V, the ancestors placed you, Brother Kwame, and I together many, many, many moons ago. And I am just, I that keeps me grounded, and I have to take my hat off. Much gratitude to Brother Kwame, because I've been having experiences, and I'm still having experiences that I can only counsel with Brother Kwame about, because of who the Creator created him to be. So I'm just grateful to you, Brother Kwame, to be a friend and a brother, and keeping me grounded, because there have been times, family, that I was seeing things and I wanted to call somebody and say, come and get me. But it was Brother Kwame and a few others that kept me on the ground and said, no, you're not crazy. So I love us, Brother Kwame, and thank you. Thank us all. Peace. That's all I got to say. Thank us.
Thank us. And Brother Eddie has chimed in with the number 5 for flu, vax, death, and depopulate. It's all in divine order. Eat breath, says Kwame, and that's what we do. We breathe in deeper. Breath heals everything. I'm realizing whatever's going on in my body, if I just spend more time deep breathing, and enjoying the sun, the moon, everything heals and balances out. And having a peaceful mind of love, joy. Every cell in your body is healed, healthy, strong, and full of love and light. So we say namaste to all my yogi friends out there. Satnam. Ashe, oh, to all my brothers and sisters out there, and shalom. Go out. Let's take some action. Have a great evening.